In this tutorial, we're going to do a joinable, breakable, or jointed breakable object. I'm not sure what the technical term is, but this is the directory we're going to be working with. Game objects brick. Caps for me. I don't care if you capitalize it or not. I've already got my textures and my material file set up, so I don't plan on actually doing a tutorial how to texture in this one. I have one in a previous called animated geometry texturing, I believe. That texturing still applies to this tutorial. You're going to see me texture it, but I'm just not going to talk about it. I'm just going to fly through it so not to bore the crap out of you guys that already know how to texture. This is the schematic view. Basically, we're going to have a dummy, which needs to be the same name as our exported object. Then we're going to have joints, which are also going to be dummies, and then we're going to have the name of each brick, which I'm going to make. These bricks do not have to be linked to these dummy joints, so that's the good news there. These joints are basically just going to relatively connect to the brick they're next to. The mass properties are going to be for the objects. You can actually change the mass that the engine calculates and the limit of each joint. So, first thing we're going to do, just go ahead and go over to create a dummy. Just create a dummy right here in the middle. Name it brick. I'm going to call this one brick because that's the name of what I'm going to export, is brick. I'm going to go ahead and move it to the middle by right-clicking on the XYZ coordinate arrows. Now I'll go ahead and do just a basic box. I'm going to align the grid for this one. Snap toggle, rather. So I get cognitive brick here. Alright, now I'm actually going to texture this before I forget. Like I said, I'm not really going to talk about this part because if I talk, it's just going to add several minutes to the tutorial. Don't forget to physicalize that texture. Because if you do not physicalize that texture, you can't shoot it. Therefore, physics shall not work. I'm actually going to convert this box to an editable poly just so that I can make sure my IDs are right. Alright, we're good. We're good. Okay, so we've got our brick. Zoom in on it. Got our brick here. Got our brick dummy. I'm actually going to rename the physical brick to BRICK001. I'm not sure if you need to use triple numbers or double numbers. I've seen some people do just with single zero, but I like to use triple because when you duplicate this brick, Max will adaptively duplicate triples, not singles. I've actually seen people do tutorials which drive me nuts when they do single numbers and when they duplicate. Like so. See how it automatically is naming it brick 002 up here? If I have double numbers, it would have renamed it 002 anyways to a triple, so it just would have wasted my time. So triple numbers is what I recommend. Same thing with the next joint, these connecting joints we're going to do, so I'm going to go ahead and go back over to helpers and go create another dummy here. I'm going to untoggle snap in here and actually create just a little offset here. I'm going to go over the name of it, and we're going to name this $joint 001. And paste it there. Enter. Now, go to top view. Actually, right now I'm going to center this brick up here. And there we go. So, basic brick wall. This is the top view here I'm working in. So there's the connecting joint and the actual first brick. Now, first thing we're going to do is go ahead and click on your brick. Go right click on it and hit properties. This is your object brick, not your dummy brick. Go over to the user defined tab, and we are going to put mass equals 10. It's important to do this before you duplicate your bricks, or else you'll have to multi-select them all and then apply this. Now go ahead and go to the joint, the connecting joint we're working with, right click and hit properties. Now we're going to apply this limit, user defined property. Okay? Looking good. We're going to save this. Brick. I'm in the right direction. directory. Objects, yeah, brick. Let's name this work. Okay, now we're going to actually open up the schematic view. I like to do this before I duplicate as well because it'll automatically assign it. This is your brick dummy here, the brick dummy. This is your actual physical brick, and this is your joint that will connect them all. Go ahead and select your connect tool, connect brick 001 to brick, connect joint 001 to brick as well. Now these are all pairs of the actual brick dummy. Now, in front of you, I'm actually going to select just the brick and the joint dummy, the actual physical brick and the joint dummy. And I'm actually going to hold shift using the move tool and just drag it over. So it looks about like that. Just leave a little gap in between the bricks. Now it's going to say copy, and automatically see it's going to use the triple numbers, which is good. I'm going to do probably 5 copies of that. Now if you notice, I have 5 bricks. Now go ahead and select this last dummy that we duplicated, this joint dummy, and delete it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all these again. And now I'm going to shift again. Shift, but I'm going to drag on the y-axis this time. And I'm just going to move it up a row. Release. Number of copies. I'm just going to do 1 for now because I'm actually going to offset these, like so. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select them all again. Make sure you don't select this dummy, your brick dummy. You really don't need to duplicate that. That'll probably just cause problems. Now I'm holding the shift key again. I'm just going to drag the bricks up and duplicate it row by row. Now there is a 64 object limit, so I'm actually going to duplicate this twice just to make 2 rows. So if you go over 64, you're going to be in trouble. So yeah, now go ahead and save that. Select your root dummy. We're just going to export this mother now. Go ahead and go over to utilities and add selected. See, now you have your brick dummy in there. I have export file per node checked. I do not have merged all nodes checked. Since it's named brick, you don't need to do custom file name. Just going to go ahead and export. Unknown command lines, I really don't know what that is, but yeah. So now we actually have our brick.cgf, which is our actual model max file, which is our 3ds max file, our material. I've already created the material file, so I skipped that process because I've already made a tutorial for that. Okay, now I'm going to go over to, now that I'm in Sandbox, I have my test level open. This is the first tutorial that I did. I'm going to go to geometric entry, or geometry entry, I guess it is. Objects, brick. Drag it in here. There it is. Probably could have made it a little bigger. It's not the biggest, but I'm going to duplicate it here a little bit. Duplicate on the x-axis, make a couple of them. See, this way you can actually link them together, which I like. I can't see that good. Now I'm going to select all 3 of them and go vertically. Just to see how bad we can mess things up. Wouldn't that be great if this worked first try? Boom. Boom! Oh, they didn't really fly, did they? Okay, let's start another grenade here. Oh, man. Oh, lame. No, I don't like this. Yeah, save it. I bet it didn't convert the properties right. Not convert, but oh, really? Oh boy. Well, that's the end of the tutorial since I can't remember my password and I have to go copy paste it. So, if this doesn't work, I'll re-edit the video. But if you just restart Sandbox, it'll probably work. So, good luck.